What's up? This is Poker Face from the IE, also known as Versace Chris. And as you know, nothing is safe. As you can see, it's dark where I'm at. I'm in Italy right now. Where you're at, of course, the daylight's still shining, the sun's still shining. But when I woke up this morning, it took me most of the day to process this. Oh man, these mosquitoes. It took me most of the day to process this, that Jesse Powell, the R&B singer, had passed away. Now, a lot of you may not even know who Jesse Powell was, but he was a sensational R&B soul artist in the 90s, late 90s. And actually, Jesse Powell had a little bit to do with the trajectory of my personal music career. So that's why I just want to say rest in peace, Jesse Powell, and kind of elaborate on how him being an artist and affected my artistry as well, and very integrated in the fact that we had the same producer for, I don't know how many albums he made, but there was his album that he released in 1998 called Bout It, or Bout It. I think it's I'm Bout It. And the producer of that single, Bout It, and the album was a R&B producer that was working with me at the time. Now, I was a little kid, you know, a rapper, you know. I was the only rapper that he was dealing with. His name is Mark J. Feist. And if you look at the, you know, you Google it or whatever, Google the credits for I'm Bout It, Jesse Powell, you'll see Mark J. Feist wrote and produced it. And I was his only rapper that he had access to, that he dealt with. In fact, I was his first rapper ever. I don't know if he's ever worked with any other rappers besides me. So when, let's see, it was, I don't know if it was late 97 or early 98, but they told him at Tommy Boy Records, which was who this album was coming through, the Bout It album, when they told Tommy Boy Records told him that he wanted to do a remix for that song, because it was going to be a single. So they were going to put the song out on radio, then they wanted to have a remix for the clubs, and they said, hey, we're going to need a rapper for that. Well, at this time, they could have went several different ways. They could have went with a rapper, they could have went with another singer, made a duet, but something very interesting happened. I don't know if you remember Vibe magazine, and how in the back of Vibe magazine, they used to have like these little things, you know, like it was like in the back of the magazine, it would say, is this person the new this person? Is this? And it would have like a bunch of different, you know, categories they would comment on, you know. And in this particular Vibe magazine, and he showed me the Vibe magazine on the day he asked me to be involved, it said, is Jesse Powell, who was on top right now, he just did You, the song You. He was on Soul, well, he wasn't on Soul Train yet. And that's how I know for a fact he wasn't on Soul Train yet. But he was starting to break. And the song You came out. It was a big, big hit. Then they wanted to, you know, do Bout It later. Well, there was a little confusion with that. They wanted to do, there was a song called He Was Your Boyfriend, right? And they wanted to go with that one. And he used to actually perform that one in shows, like it was going to be the next single. But it was basically more of a B-side. When you get a CD single, or you get a cassette single, there would be the song that you actually purchased the single for, and then there would always be like a B-side. And if that B-side creates a buzz, they turn that into a single too. If it doesn't create a buzz, they just like go with the next thing. Well, in this situation, the Vibe magazine in the back said, is Jesse Powell going to be the new Tevin Campbell? Now, I don't know if you're familiar with this period of time, but at this period in time, Tevin Campbell had just got cracked by a male undercover officer for solicitation of male prostitution. So he just got busted for trying to pay for sex, allegedly, from a male police officer. Okay? So it was kind of coming out. So this thing with that Tevin Campbell did a few weeks ago, where he was like, I just want to tell everybody that I'm gay. And everybody was like this. That's because that was already out there since the 90s, that Tevin Campbell was gay. There was no shock. There was no, oh my God, I can't believe. No. Like when it was said that Luther Vandross was allegedly gay, when Patti LaBelle said that on one of her interviews, said that Luther Vandross was gay, I was shocked. Because Luther Vandross was basically the artist that inspired me to sing originally, you know? So being a kid, I bought every album that he made. Even his greatest hits, I bought everything that Luther Vandross ever did. From the first one, Any Love, to Dancing with My Father, all points in between. And being a kid, you don't know what a gay man moves like, sounds like. You just know that, hey, this guy can sing, I want to sing like him, you know. So same thing was happening with Tevin Campbell. So he got busted and arrested, mind you, for this solicitation of a male police officer for prostitution, right? So then when this article comes up in Vibe, is Jesse Powell the new Tevin Campbell? It sent shockwaves through the industry, especially through his camp, which now my producer is part of his camp, right? So, and this is the same producer that did songs on Shanice's album, the I Love Your Smile album. This dude was on the come up. He'd done big songs. He did the Keith Washington, Shantae Moore duet. The dude was coming up, and I was going to come up through him. So this was a shocker for him. He's like, this is the biggest thing I got going on right now. And it's about to take a crap because now they're insinuating that he's gay. And in that time, I don't know about now, but in that time, a male singer that is singing to majority women, and majority women are the sales, I don't know how that collapses a male R&B artist. But I'm assuming that it can. Because, you got women say, well, he ain't singing to us anyway, girl, why are we going to be buying that? Or, you don't know how that affects the female sales, So, males, we don't really buy anyway. We try, we don't buy, But the women, they buy the merchandise, they buy the tickets. But if they thinking the whole time, he ain't singing to us anyway, there ain't no way. I know women that go to concerts dressed to the nines, hoping to get the attention of the artist, hoping to knock over the artist, And when I say knock over, I mean, go with him after the after party, So I know, individuals that go for that specifically. I'm gonna dress down to the nines. I'm gonna look him in the eye every time he's looking at me, and I'm gonna do this, that, and the other, and I'm gonna knock this dude. This is gonna be my dude for the night, for the week, for the whatever. I know people that, and we all know, I bet you know somebody that go to the, hoping to get knocked over, right? So does that affect ticket sales if a woman is saying, why would I dress to the nines knowing that I'm not going to get this dude to do nothing because he like men, you know? So I don't know how that works. But it was a 5-star alarm. So he was like, man, where am I going to get a rap artist? Because Tommy Boy was like, look, I want a rap artist. Because I want him to look more macho, seeming, you know, I want a macho rap artist to make Jesse look more macho, to look more manly, to look more like, you know, he's that dude. We got to save the ship. So Mark J. Feist didn't know any other rappers, as I told you, didn't have a relationship with any rappers, didn't work with any rappers before me. So I'm going there from my normal studio session, which my people were paying $3,000 to $5,000 a track from Mark J. Feist, right? So they were paying, you know, I had the money behind me at that point in time. I was doing my thing. So they were paying them, and I was, you know, I had my little, you know, paid session I was coming through, and he asked me, he said, Poker, I need you to do me a favor. I was like, cool, because I was hoping that, because this is what people don't know, and this is the jewel of this whole video, all right? If you get paid in cash, you only have the cash. If you get paid in favor, a favor can be anything, and that's something that I was taught. My dad taught me that. A favor can be anything. A payment is just money. Always remember that. So I was like, okay, he wants me to do a favor for him. Cool. He was like, I owe you big time for this. I was like, cool. Because I know that now, when you have somebody that's in the game that has, you know, starting to come up and they owe you a favor, you're good. So I said, cool. What we got going on? He said, I need you to write a 16 for this song. And he played it. Girl, you know I'm about it, baby. I can break you all. Girl, I'm about it, baby. There's no doubt. Oh, right when they do. So you know that song. If go and Google it. It's called "Bout It," Jesse Powell. So he played it. Dum 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 dum, and he was playing it in the studio. And this is back when studios were big, impressive studios, not, you know, the home studios that we use. This was like boom. So he's playing it, and I'm like, dang, okay, this is hitting. And this is before the album really come out. The first single just came out with You. So I'm like, oh, this is hitting. This is it. I said, yeah, I can fool with this. He said, man, I need you to do something like today, because I got to send this off to Tommy Boy. I was like, cool. So the song that I was going to do that day, I put it to the side, and I said, let's go. So I wrote my 16. Took me about maybe 30 minutes to an hour max, because I wanted to make sure that everything was, and it was hard lyrics, you know. It was like we taking broads down to the, because I knew there was he was supposed to be like East Coast, and I know in the East Coast, from what, you know, I've always seen on television and whatnot, in the East Coast they always have you know, basements. So, you know, I was like, you know, we taking broads down to the basements, doing them any kind of way. It was, you know, in the lyrics, you know, like how I was doing my thing. I was like, yeah, you know, me and my boy, Jesse Powell, we doing our thing. You know, we got these girls, we drinking this drink, we doing them any kind of way. Right? You know, some macho stuff, you know, how I got down in the streets and how I do my thing. And, you know, and he loved it. He was like, oh man, yeah, this is going to make him, you know, look like this macho, you know, dude. I was like, cool, man, I'm just doing me. So we recorded it. Same day, recorded it. He did. Then I went about my business. He did his little mix and everything. He sent it to Tommy Boy. Tommy Boy told him they loved it. Yeah, Tommy Boy. Yeah, I'm the poker face. I'm him. If you remember that, I'm him, right? So they said they loved it, and he went to New York to meet, to see what they were going to do next. Now, this would have been cool, but I don't have a copy of it. I would love to have a copy of it, because he played it. He was playing it while he was mixing it a little bit, and I was a young artist. I'm ready for my next thing. Okay, you gonna be mixing this? Okay, I'm out of here. So it was basically like that. Then he hit me back. He called me back once he had already did his thing, and he played it for me. He said, man, they loved it, and they played it. I was like, okay, cool. Crazy thing was, when he went to that meeting in New York with Tommy Boy, they loved me. They wanted to sign me because of that verse, that 116-bar verse that I put in his song, just the bravado, the charisma, the style, the flow, the energy. They wanted me. And they told Mark, they was like, look, we want him. We want to sign him. We want to get him right. So Mark comes back from New York. He meets with my management. My management, those are the ones that's getting things together, that's taking care of him as far as money is whatnot. And we have a meeting. And they have a meeting first. Of course, I'm a young artist, I'm whatever, I'm just about the art, and my management were about the business. So this was a business talk. So he came, and they talked, and then they brought me in the meeting, and it was like, look, Poker, what do you think about signing to an East Coast label? And this was like right after the Tupac Biggie stuff, so there was East Coast, West Coast. They asked me, how do you feel about that? I was like, man, look, let me tell you something. I don't have a dog in that fight, and I'm loyal to the first hand that feeds me. I'm loyal to the first hand that feeds me. So the people that walk by me and don't give me no food, they keep walking by me and don't give me no food, don't walk by me and give me no food, and then this person walk by, show me love, give me food. Those other people can walk by with $1 million in food. I'm not touching it. I don't want it. You walk by me, right? So that's how I was. So I said, if they want to meet with me, they want to sign me, I'm all for it.